Hi, welcome back once again to M&A Ambassadors, Becoming the USP, the Ultimate Sales Professional. Now, we have been talking about some tips, some do's and don'ts when you are presenting solutions. So I'm going to continue with a few more tips in the next two videos and then some pointers on how you should actually be making the presentation. The first point I'd like to talk about today are pulse checks. Remember, it isn't just about presenting an option with all information. You need to be checking whether the client is engaging, he's emotionally invested in that home, in that opportunity that you are talking about. If he's not engaged with that, he will sit with you through the presentation and he's going to end up with statements like, "I'll come back to you. Let me think about it." To prevent that from happening, you need to put pulse checks in place. Now, what is a pulse check? A pulse check are the kind of questions that you would ask as evaluation questions during your presentation to check how much the client understands, can identify with the solution that you're offering. And you will do pulse checks when you present in a sales center on the floor from a model. You'll also do it in a show apartment, and you'll do it when you visit the community. So here's an example of how you would use a pulse check. Let's say you're presenting at a model on a sales floor. So once I have presented the solution and the community, don't leave the community. Standing at the model, ask the client, take his name. So Ahmed, what questions do you have about name of the community? Say Emaar Beachfront. So what questions do you have about Emaar Beachfront? And listen carefully. The quality of the questions will tell you if he's really into what you have been presenting. Once you have answered the questions, then you move to an emotional check, even if it's an investor. So I would simply turn around and say, "So Ahmed, what did you like about Emaar Beachfront?" You see, this is where they will associate emotionally to the opportunity. So what did you like about Emaar Beachfront? Chances are in their head, they're already thinking about how to get out of it or what might not be so great. Shift that by asking them the like question. What did you like about Emaar Beachfront? So now they start to focus on what was good about the community or that villa. And your third question would be, once he has told you what he likes, you would simply say, "So Ahmed, can you see yourself and your family living in this community for, say, the next 5 to 8 years? And the tone of his answer, the yes that he will give you an indicator if he is with you on the same page. So if it's a, "Well, yeah, I can see myself living in this," good. If it's, "Yeah, I guess so," that's like a 5 on 10. You may want to probe a little bit more. And how would you do that? Ahmed, what else do we need to take care of so you could own this amazing opportunity? That is how you use pulse checks. You would do the same thing when you are in a show unit. You will also do the same thing when you're visiting an actual villa or apartment in the community. Doesn't matter whether you are selling off plan or whether you're selling secondary, you must have pulse checks. Otherwise, you have no way of knowing whether the client is really with you in the solution that you're presenting. And you don't want to face, "Let me think about this later." Now, another thing to keep in mind is bringing in power words and empathy words. Remember, home buying is an emotional decision. Even if it's for an investment purpose, it's a large amount of money that people are putting in. You want to keep the energy levels, the tone of the conversation positive, electric, exciting, because people like that. They will see your energy about what you're presenting and they will buy into it. So empathy words are very, very powerful words to use. So it could be things like, "Ahmed, I can see this is important. Ahmed, that made perfect sense. That's a good point. Very valid question. I'm glad you brought that up." So all of these, when you bring them in, it makes the client feel that whatever he's saying is important and that you are with him. He naturally reciprocates that behavior and he is with you. Power words can also be used. So power words will be things like perfect, excellent, great, fantastic. These sort of words. So every time something has been done and you presented something and say you asked a question, "So Ahmed, can you see why this makes such an amazing opportunity?" And the client says, "Yeah, that makes sense." I say, "Excellent, perfect, great." It's energy surges like injections that you bring into the process so that people stay on top of what you're presenting and can associate themselves with it. Never leave out the empathy, because empathy is where you show them that you are not selling as a broker, but you're helping them to buy or sell as a buyer and seller. And this is very important when you are making presentations, because all the talking earlier, all the qualifying, all the rapport building was great, but this is the first-hand experience with the actual solution that I'm looking at buying. So it becomes really important that you do the evaluations so that you're sure the client is willing to buy that particular villa. Thank you for your time once again on M&A Ambassadors, becoming the USP, the ultimate sales professional.